Welcome back to Greels, Reels, everyone. I'm your host, Robert Greeley, and we've got Kevin Brown joining us today. He played for the Ottawa Red Blacks and is now with the Edmonton Football Team. Before his CFL journey, he played his college ball with the Cincinnati Bearcats and tells us some incredible stories from all those times, including playing with guys like Travis Kelce when he was with the Bearcats. But now, before we get going, I need you to do me a favor. Please hit that subscribe button, like the video, send this to a friend, or leave us a review. Really helps us get these out to more people. But now, without further ado, please enjoy our conversation with Kevin Brown. Kevin, it is good to see you, man. Welcome to Greels Reels. Thanks for hopping on.
Hey, man, appreciate you for having me, man.
Dude, newly engaged too. Congratulations. It's been a minute since I've seen you.
Nah, it has been a minute, man.
Yeah.
The pandemic and everything going on, this is kind of how we got to communicate now. This is the new normal right now until things get back to how they used to, if they ever do.
But how's the wedding plans going, I guess, with the whole pandemic? That throws everything for a loop too?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough since both of our families are having to deal with the border situations, but we might have to just figure out a way to maybe do something in a destination type of thing to where everybody can get to the same place.
You got your dog out in the backyard with you?
Yeah, somebody's in the backyard doing something, so he's trying to figure it out.
Well, dude, I know you're born in Indianapolis, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you grow up a Colts fan?
I did grow up a Colts fan, man. I was a Colts fan more, I would say, in 2006 after they won the Super Bowl. But it was more. I've been a Baltimore Ravens fan probably the longest, just because since I was in first grade playing Madden, that was my team. Offense was terrible, but I don't know why I like defense, so I used to just really just enjoy shutting people down on Madden. So they became my favorite team. And then after the Colts won, seeing the hype around the city, man, and Peyton was doing his thing, man. He was at an all-time high. So I hopped on the bandwagon, and I'm from there, so nobody was asking questions.
Well, it's funny enough, eh? So I actually, on the season finale for the show of that I do for work out here in Newfoundland, because I've been struggling with finding an NFL team, right? So I actually announced my fandom for the Indianapolis Colts on the season finale.
Well, ain't that something? What made you pick Indy?
So I've been listening to Pat McAfee show a lot, and I love his character. He gets a lot of indie guys on and chat, so I'm a big fan of the personality. Then he did that. I don't know if you've seen that interview he did with Carson Wentz, but man, I really liked it. It was a good one. It was just like, you know what? This also, they got some decent history.
Yeah.
Seems like a good time to hop in there. They also have another he just finished his rookie campaign there, a wide receiver. He's got a YouTube channel.
Pittman?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's nice. So
I've been seeing a bunch of their content, and I mean that's a big thing for me, right? Is getting to know the personality of the guys and whatnot. It seems like a good city, and
Darius a big personality, man. They got a lot of guys that's got good big personalities, man. I like that. I like the team. I like them picking up Carson though. I think that's gonna be good for both. Carson's he's gonna elevate his career to another level, and we're gonna have that younger quarterback that's gonna be able to he's probably entering into his prime right now, so we'll probably have him hopefully for a while.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see, because I think another thing too, man, I just been tired of everybody asking me who's my NFL team, and I'm like, I'll cheer for the Red Blacks.
Especially when you don't have one. You're a football fan, but they're like, how do you not have a team? They're confused.
Well, even growing up in the East Coast, right? I'm not even in Nova Scotia where there is organized football when I was growing up. So my first ever football game was at the University of Ottawa, right? When I was
what year was that?
That was 2015.
Dang, that's actually that's a wow.
Sorry, 2016.
So you were a late fan to the game.
I was, yeah. So obviously
Canadian kid, hockey first kind of love, but man, like when I stepped on the campus at UO, like I lived on a floor in the residence with a couple of football guys. They kind of got me into the game. I started working with the teams, obviously, and dude, I will say there's just something to football, man. Like the environment is so fun and it's addictive.
It is, man. It's like the ultimate team sport, honestly. Like, and guys just show like you're not gonna get like you got a few divas, but it's just not really a diva sport. So you just gonna have a lot of like blue collar guys that just like normal. Like I don't want to say that other sports guys aren't normal, but like just more down to earth guys, man. Because we just hard workers.
And every football locker room I've like walked in or like even like kind of immersed myself on the sidelines with, every single dude has embraced me. Like there's never like one guy who like won't say hello, won't say nothing. And then that speaks volumes, especially in, a role like myself, right? I'm not going to be moving you up and down the depth chart. I'm not going to be
Right.
helping you rehab or anything like that, right? I'm going to give you
Yeah.
a couple of Instagram pics. That's about it.
Hey, that's important though, because a lot of people don't get to see like what goes on like behind the scenes or like on the practice field or even in games. So like especially only having like certain photos that get posted like CFL.com or like Getty's like the professional grade. Like when you have somebody that's willing to come out on their own time and like take pictures for guys and like that it means more than you think to a lot of us. That's why we show love because we appreciate like the stuff that you do for real. Like it doesn't go unnoticed. So that's why it's easy to say what's up and be cool to people that like just show love and respect, to the craft and to the game. Like, because we all love the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's always something that I guess I instill in like my work ethic more or less is like, man, I never played football, but I'm gonna know this game. I'm gonna be here 24/7 because dude, I do find it is tough. Like I haven't seen a sport that where the athlete has to give so much every single like if it's a practice or a game, like just physically, mentally demanding. I really haven't seen one that tops football. Obviously, all sports in their own respective ways are there, but man, it's just something about football where
The
it's
physicality
there.
along with everything else that you're gonna have to do in other sports, like the endurance and the speed and agility, but the physicality of it too is just what takes it. Because I feel like hockey's sort of in that realm though. But then when you think of maybe in the weight room, it might be a different atmosphere in the weight room. It might be a different atmosphere on the practice field, like in the rink. I don't know how hard they go on the rink, but compared to how hard we go on the practice field. But it's not too many sports you're gonna find that you're gonna physically be able to hit people and it be okay and not be a penalty.
And so that's why I was always like, man, I'm not going to be 15 minutes late. I'm not going to miss a practice. Like I'm going to be here early. So at least like the guys know, like, at least like, hey, I'm out here through the duration. I might not be getting hit, but I'm here with you
For
kind of
sure.
thing. And I think that
It's appreciated, man. I'm telling you, we notice stuff like that because it's not like the practices are packed with people. So I mean, we see everybody that's on the side and watching. So especially when they got a camera out taking pictures, I mean, we might even not even know you're doing that and just holler at you and say what's up, and then we see you with a camera, and like, oh, you're a photographer, and then it just goes like that. It's just the relationships form, and most people are gonna enjoy that because, like I said, we don't really have people coming out and taking pictures of us at practice and doing stuff like workouts. You've done videos with guys like in the off season, like stuff like that doesn't always get done, and we don't always have the resources to do it on our own. Like guys making millions of dollars, so it's definitely, man, it's all love, man, and appreciation for people like you that like really have an appreciation for the game and love for the game to be able to do that on your own time, like your free time.
hey, hopefully things open up a little bit more at some point, whenever. And man, I'll be on a plane real quick to whatever off season field or gym you need me at, man.
Man, I'm trying to come to Ottawa when it warms up, so hopefully we'll come up there.
Yeah.
Because down
Well,
here, I mean, it's packed. It's way too many people down here, but Ottawa's perfect. That's a perfect spot to train and work out. And plus, I already know the city and I know everybody out there, so I'll be the one on the plane. Actually, I just drive up there, so we'll probably just be on the road if everything opens
I
up.
I gotta get on a plane anyway though, right? Because I'm back in Newfoundland now. I'm not
Oh
even
yeah,
in
you're not
Ottawa.
even in Ottawa. You did say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So
Dang. Yeah, definitely get on the plane. Yeah, you got to come to me. I'm not coming to Newfoundland. I'm not coming out there.
Hey, why not? We got
Nah, I'm not doing
some fields.
It's look, if y'all probably do got some good seafood though. I might have to come out there if y'all got the good seafood.
Hey, if you
Y'all
come
got good
out,
crab legs?
100%, dude. Crab, lobster, scallops. You ever have scallops?
Yeah, I love scallops. Y'all got
Scallop.
the charboiled ones?
I
The
do
grill?
pan fried. I do pan fried. So toss some butter in pan. Toss them in the pan, fry them up, and you're good. I'll yeah, I'll set you right up with all that, man. We got great codfish, everything like that. Like whatever you
Oh, I
want.
love
We can.
crab.
I can even set it up so we go out on a boat and catch it
On a boat?
ourselves. Yeah.
Man, you about to have me out there. First time, stop playing.
That's actually isn't that that's a pretty big thing in Indy, right? Like I've seen some guys do a bit of fishing out there, or am I just like absolutely wrong?
What's a big thing? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Like fishing out in Indianapolis, like isn't
Oh
that?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So now,
But your type of fishing is gonna be. That's what I said. Like I know the East Coast, man. Yeah, those boats, that fishing life's different. Y'all fishing with a net. We fishing with a pole.
I fish with a pole sometimes. I went salmon fishing last summer. Didn't catch anything though. Didn't have much luck.
Yeah, there's no salmon anywhere in Indiana, so you're about to be catching straight catfish. That's it.
So tell me about your childhood in Indy. Was that like something that you did in a lot of your spare time, fishing, or was it all just kind of?
My grandfather did a lot of that though, so I heard about it a lot, and I went with him maybe when I was like a young kid. But nah, that's the only reason why I know because he did it a lot, and then he passed when I was like 3 or 4, so I was pretty young, and so the pictures depict me on the boat. So I didn't really fish a lot like that, but a lot of my childhood was spent in basketball gyms. A lot of my childhood was spent in church. A lot of my childhood was spent in school, and those were probably if I was not in one of those 3 places, man, I was asleep or watching TV maybe, yeah. But like I didn't have that much time to watch TV, so it was like, yeah. So I would say TV or sleep if I wasn't doing one of those 3 places.
So was football the first love, or was basketball, or because you did track as well too, eh?
I did. I would say basketball was the first love, only because I did it first. But football was kind of like it was almost like beer. Like the first time I had beer, it was like I was like, man, this is disgusting. Like, how do people drink this? And then like you get a little older, and you're like, okay, nah, this beer a little good, and you start experimenting with different kinds of beers, and you're like, okay, I like this. So it's like, it was kind of like an acquired taste. Like over time, like I had like developed a love for it. I feel like I love to compete, so that helped too. So always competing and playing the sport like helps. And then just as I learned more about the game and you understand the game more, because when you don't understand stuff, it's hard, like it's frustrating. But like as you start learning and as I started getting a little bit better and getting more confident, it definitely became a little bit more fun, and I started enjoying it a lot better, and definitely developed the love for it, especially when all the schools were calling and everything, trying to give me scholarships, man. Like having been a basketball player and that not happening for me, and then going into football and it happening, like I was super excited. But even then, I wouldn't say I loved it. But I would say college definitely developed like a sort of love for it, like that daily grind of really seeing guys like the goals to get to the NFL, to get to the next level, play pro ball, and like you see what goes into being like a pro baller, and then it's like, okay, the switch is flipped now, and you just kind of like watch those guys and you try to mimic and do what they do and learn some stuff along the way. And like I said, man, eventually you just fall in love with the grind and with the game, and even watching it. Like, I mean, it's just a great game to watch once you understand like what's going on.
100%. I mean, like I said, when I started, like the first games and stuff like that, didn't really know much. Dude, it's frustrating. But like once you start knowing like situations and like actually being like, oh, okay, like, hey, this is probably going to happen in, I don't know, say like a third and long. Hey, this is probably going to be a passing play. Like there might be a big play here. Like once you start understanding it is a lot funner to just kind of experience and explore. So when you're like in high school and you start getting the offers, do you remember who sent you the first ever offer?
I did. Western Michigan, man, they were they were really, man, they were so excited. And I just remember being so confused. Like why are y'all offering me? Like, I was so confused. Like, why do y'all want me? Like, I wanted that, but I was just like, dang, like me, like this is crazy. Just like I said, just from being in basketball and like being around guys getting offers. I mean, you get offers early in basketball, so freshman, sophomore year, they're getting offers or looks, even coaches coming to look at them. And, you're the guy over there, not getting any looks and then going to play another sport and then you're getting looks. It just feels good. So that first offer felt good, man. I was confused because I didn't understand why they wanted me, but they saw something, that's their job, man. Their job is to try to like project out what you're gonna look like, 3 or 4 years down the line. So they probably saw my dad. He's a big guy. He's like 6'2", like 280. So they probably saw him and was like, "Oh, and you're a little bit athletic. Like, yeah, you'll probably be a good football player, at the next level at Division I." So I just remember being super excited, man, and confused.
Now, you played safety in high school, right?
I did.
So, yeah, you later make that transition to linebacker. So, were you a hard-hitting safety? Like, were you somebody, or maybe more a little bit, I guess, finesse?
I was straight hard in the safety. I didn't understand coverage to even like be in that realm. Like I hadn't been immersed in the game long enough to understand like coverage concepts. Zone is obviously the easiest thing to understand because that still goes back like even actually I can't say that man's the easiest thing, but like zone was just like the scheme stuff just kind of was easy to understand, but running and hitting was fun. And being a safety is like I'm cleaning up everything. I'm usually not one-on-one, so it was mostly like, oh, he's dodging somebody else like a linebacker slipping off a defensive lineman, and then I'm just coming in with a full head of steam at 20 yards away, full speed, just trying to knock somebody's head off. I had my first year ever playing. That's why I had like 4 forced fumbles and like, I didn't have a lot of tackles. I had like 60 tackles, but I had like 4 forced fumbles, and I only started like 8 games. So half the games I had a forced fumble. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm just knocking people's heads off out of frustration.
Do you remember that first big crack on a football field? Like,
yes, 100%. The first play came against Pike, and it was actually the first game I ever played in because I didn't initially start. Obviously, like that was my first time playing. I was a junior. And so I was on junior varsity at the time. That would have been like the B team, I guess. Because I don't think y'all have JV out here. My girl told me.
No, it's even different from like province to province. Like there's stuff that's going on in like Quebec and Ontario that I have no idea with, right? Like for the most part, like in Newfoundland where our towns are so small, like it all depends on the age group. So like for my group, we had enough guys for like an A and a B.
The teams.
And then that was basically it, right? And you'd get like maybe 4 tournaments in on a year if you were lucky.
I think that's what how they do it too. That would make sense. Like if you have enough people to have 2 teams and like, okay, a couple of these guys need to develop more and grow more, then you put them on the B team or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I was on the B team basically. Like I started off on the B team. I should have been on the B team, first of all. Let me make that clear because I still think I was terrible even when I was playing, just watching the film again. But it was like the 3rd game of the season, I want to say, 3rd or 4th game. And, man, the starting safety, he was out there, and I don't remember if he got hurt or if he did something. Something happened. I think we were getting blown out. That's what it was. We were getting blown out. And the coach he was like, here, just put in Brown. Like, let's see what he can do. And then literally the first play, man, they ran I think it was like an option play or something, but it was like the running back was leading the quarterback. So it might've just been like a quarterback sweep or something, some high school easy play. And I literally smacked the running back into the quarterback and they both fell for like a tackle for loss for like 3 yards. So everybody went crazy, even though we're getting blown out. I'm pretty sure the score was 35-14. I don't know why I remember that, but we were definitely getting whooped. But that was like the highlight of mine. I'm like, oh, I get to play in a high school game. Like I ran in like socks all the way up, no swag, just bright-eyed, bushy tail, man, ready to run into anything. and that was the first play I ever had. And after that, they felt confident enough to let me keep playing. So I started every game after that.
Now it kind of seems from what you're saying is like you were okay with that decision of being kind of placed on the B team. Like there was
Oh
no
yeah,
animosity. Yeah.
no, I had not played football since seventh grade. So like coming into a junior year, like man, people are trying to get scholarships. Like I understand. And some of these guys, man, a lot of the guys were seniors that was playing over me. And from what the stories they were telling me, a lot of those guys had to wait their turn, like to play. Like weren't a lot of juniors and sophomores playing like younger underclassmen guys. It was mostly seniors. So like I understood that. So me coming into it, I'm not ready for the 18. Like I need some time to get used to get back in the groove of things and learn the game. And a lot's changed from seventh grade to 11th grade to varsity football in Indiana. Like a lot of change. So I just had I needed that little space to, that little learning curve. So there was definitely no animosity. If anything, I was thankful I wasn't thrown in the fire, because who knows what would have happened if I would have went out there, because our first game was always against our rival and it's sold out. So if I would have choked the game or something and gave up a big play or something, I probably would have never been able to lay that down. I would have had no confidence and just been terrible from then.
What's the attendance like in a high school sold out Indiana game, like right off the bat against your rival?
It's like 5,000.
Okay. That's pretty solid. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's not
that's like,
Texas or Florida or nothing, but
yeah.
it's, the stands hold about like 2,500 people, and then it's probably another 2,500 standing around.
That's like, I mean, man, like good games for Canadian University. I mean, aside from the Panda game, which is just like that massive event, but I mean, for the most part, like I know our home opener probably brings in like 4,500, but for the most part, we're looking at 800 people, and that's university ball in Canada, which is kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
But I mean, that's still a lot. That's still a lot. Like the climate out here, that's a lot for me. Like I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen way less, even at our game. So it's just, or other places I played at, I'll say that.
Well, no, because population's a big thing, right?
Uh,
Which is so correct me on any of this if it's wrong, or fact check me. But so I was looking into like your old like scouting reports from like high school and stuff, which is like absolutely incredible that like there's just this much recorded data.
Up. I know.
Like
it's funny, man.
This is not a thing in Canada, like for the most part. Like aside from maybe,
except those guys that like I think they go to schools. They probably, I don't know if they go live with family members, but I'm pretty sure. But actually, I think Chuba actually Hubbard, did he actually graduate from a Canadian high school and go to, was it Oklahoma State or Oregon?
I'm not 100% sure. I know he is at Oklahoma State, I believe. Yeah.
No, he's about to get drafted, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think he graduated from a high school out there, and then went straight to Oklahoma State. But he would have had to have been on there. He would have had to have been noticed by somebody. I don't know how. I don't know if he went to a camp, Nike camp or something, but he would have had to.
A lot of the stories for the Canadians, but it's just crazy to me, like how like well documented, even if like say top NHL prospects, right? So like some Canadian born hockey players, for the most part, I can only like haul up your statistics. So far. Right, like it all depends on like what league you played in and like where you played in. Some leagues do it better than others, right? But like and there's none of this data. But so like number 28th recruit in Indiana, you were ranked at 28. Like Indiana's a state with like 7 million people. Like this is something that I will never get to comprehend. Like, are you like, I'm thinking if I'm ranked 28 out of like, theoretically in a state that has 7 million, like I'm pretty fired up. Was that a same thing, or were you kind of like, nah, this is a little bit disrespectful?
Man, I feel like but I was so happy to even be on there. I remember just trying to get like just noticed, man. Like, because you playing, even when I started playing, as soon as my junior year was over, like the first thing my position coach was like, okay, now we got to get you noticed. Like we got to get this film out. You got a game. I mean, you have a full season of playing. We even had extra games because we ended up going to the state championship. So I had like 4 or 5 extra games on top of them. So it made up for the games I missed plus 2. So we had lots of film to send out. So as soon as we got the chance and we got an opportunity to go to San Antonio to be a part of the All-American Combine, the U.S. Army All-American Combine. That was the first time I just got to, be in front of, scouts and, the ESPN college scouters and the rivals and scout.com and all of them. So, I had eyes on me after that. We had film out there. So as soon as they started calling me and, ranking and all that, man, I was just happy I was included because I thought I was going to get left out. Because if I would have been left out, I wouldn't have been upset because I would have been like, well, I tried. I wasn't really expecting much coming into this. I didn't know what it would turn into. But, this coach really believed in me, man. Desmond Cooksey was his name. And, my dad, too, man. They both of them together and my head coach, too, at my high school, like, between the 3 of them, they were trying to get me in front of as many people as possible because they felt I could play at the next level. So, for me, I was just happy. I guess maybe for them, I feel like they would have probably took more offense to it than I did at the time. Maybe now looking back, definitely 100%. But I'm not the same player I was, in 10th grade. So I feel like that was a fair probably ranking at the time.
That ESPN Army camp, does that live up to the intensity as it looks like on TV?
Oh, definitely. I was nowhere. I shouldn't have been in there with them guys. Athletically, yes, but just the football skill, I was not there yet. I was nowhere near. They were way ahead of me when it came to that.
Who were some big guys in that room there that kind of, I guess maybe like a starstruck, like, oh wow, like he's here?
Well, nobody, because I had no idea who any of these guys were. Even in the NFL, man, I like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Peyton Manning, probably, and Tom Brady, obviously, but like those would have probably been my 4 that I would have been maybe starstruck. But for those guys, I had no idea who any of these people were. Like I said, the goal, I was just basically being told what to do. They're like, okay, we got to get you in front of these people and blah, 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 blah. But I do remember Stephon Diggs was there. So that would have been somebody, if I didn't know at the time, I probably would have been, I wouldn't say starstruck, but just, definitely watching. I would have been watching, though, because he's a dog. So I definitely would have had eyes on him because I didn't watch him do anything. I just remember them saying the number 1 player in our class is here. And or the number 1 receiver, whatever he was. And it was just kind of like, well, whatever. Everybody here is better than me probably right now. So I'm just happy to be here. But it was funny because I was one of the guys I ended up befriending down there. We was just cool talking and stuff like that, was his high school teammate. So he was the one telling me, yeah, he's about to be the next big, he was the running back at Good Counsel in Maryland, where Stephon Diggs went. So he was telling me all about them and how good they were, or whatever. I think they were ranked top 5 in high school team in the nation and all that. So, he was hyping it up, man, but I don't even remember watching him. I don't think I ever got to see Stephon Diggs do anything. But I saw him get drafted, and I saw him at Maryland. He was just as good as what Wes was saying.
Fair enough. Yeah, starstruck is probably not the best term for a bunch of high schoolers. Was there any who else kind of blossomed out of that camp? Stephon Diggs?
I think when I went back and looked, there was a couple people. I want to say it was who was it? I came out in 12. I know Sheldon Day in my class. I don't think he went, though. I think he was an Under Armour All-American, so he wouldn't have been there. I'm actually not even sure. Stephon Diggs was probably the only one I remember because of who I was talking to, who I was cool with there. They were teammates, so I just remember that name.
So I assume, as these things and opportunities are picking up and you're kind of getting in these rooms and you're realizing that, you can keep up with people athletically, but maybe the football IQ is not necessarily there, do you immediately go to the playbook and just start kind of diving into that standpoint, or did it still kind of take a little bit of time to develop that side of it?
I feel like it still took time just because I feel like the best way to learn something, or at least maybe for me, was to play. I'm sure it's everybody, man. It's to just get reps. I needed more reps. I hadn't been playing long enough. 2 years is usually not the amount of time that somebody's playing to, go Division One. So I had to make up for a lot of lost time, just being on the field and practicing, because guys are just, you're not only practicing with your team in high school. I mean, you're working out, you're in the weight room. A weight room workout is different for a football player than it is for a basketball player or someone who's running track. So it was an adjustment, man, on so many levels. Like it was low key. It was like every year I was just trying to get a little bit better. Whether that was in the weight room, whether that was on the in the film room, and then just trying to prove that I could play. And my coach believed in me that brought me in to Cincinnati. Kerry Combs and Bush Jones, they both believed in me, and I maybe wasn't the most confident in my ability, but they saw it in me and maybe just saw the potential and just always kept me I guess just always teaching. Like, a coach's job is, they're really just football teachers and life teachers. So they just was always teaching, man, and always trying to like show me everything, because I'm like a sponge. I know nothing. I'm just here to learn. Like, I just want to learn from all of my teammates, all the coaches. So it was definitely a slow process. I was thrown in the fire a bit, almost in a similar way, because somebody got hurt my freshman year and I had to play. And I was like, you want to talk about bright-eyed? I was not thinking I was about to. I just knew I was going to redshirt, just the same way I was on the B team in my first year playing. I just knew I was going to redshirt, and that's basically sitting out the first year you're there. So when they burnt my red shirt at training camp and told me I was going to be playing the first game, I was nervous as all can be, man. I was nervous, but eventually, like, you get out on the field, and you're like, wait, man, there's a lot of people here. The lights are bright, but this is the same thing I was doing in high school. It's just bigger people. It's not that much different. It just takes reps. So as you get more reps, you get more confident, you get more comfortable, you learn, X's and O's look a lot different on a piece of paper on a laptop than they do when a guy's running a 4-3 running right at you. So, you just need that experience of playing. And I feel like I got that the most in the CFL, sadly, but man, it's still been so fun, just because it's like, oh, okay, well, this is what he meant in my junior year when they were telling me this, and I'm just now understanding it at 24 and 25. So, man, it's just been fun, man. I've been enjoying this whole ride.
What do you think separates you? Like, the fact that, you kind of been you've been pretty modest, but at the end of the day, it's like 2 years of high school football, land at you. And the Bearcats, like, that's a solid NCAA Division I football program.
Yeah. What was the question on that? What was
like,
the question?
what do you think actually separated you? Like, you're saying, like, not a lot of guys after 2 years can make that leap.
I think it was just my athleticism and potential. Like, I had played basketball, football, and track, and my first year of track, I wasn't the best, but the second year I did it, I was in the state meet, like, competing for the championship. So I guess it was kind of like a combination of those two things. So, like, okay, he picks up on things quickly, and he's athletic and he's smart. I had a good GPA. I had 3.6 GPA. I was in all honors and advanced placement classes. Just a combination of different things, like just being solid. And I feel like it was just appealing to a college coach. I mean, it's easy when you see a guy like, okay, he's got raw potential. He may not be the best player like I've ever seen, but I can work with a guy that does what he's supposed to do. He's on time. He's where he needs to be. I'm talking to teachers, and nobody has anything negative to say about him, other than he might have a smart mouth here and there. But, but yeah, like, I just don't think there was any like red flags, and it was like, okay, well, this guy can only go up. And I feel like I've done that since I've been playing. I just try to get better every year and try to learn something new every time I'm on the field, every time I'm on the practice field. Just try to learn something new, and that's why I enjoy watching the game, because it's always evolving. They're not doing the same things now that they were doing in 1980, because the game is always evolving. Things are always changing. So just, being aware of that and um, seeing that potential was, I would say, what separated me, and my mentality too. Kobe being my favorite player growing up, I always was just like a hard worker, and my dad pushed me a lot to be a hard worker because he came from nothing and was able to provide us with I would say a very what's the word, privileged childhood. But he made sure that I had that work ethic because he made sure I always knew that all of this he had to work for. Everything that I had, he had to work for. And one day you'll have to provide that for your family. And so, just between him and, watching Kobe and studying Kobe and, being a Kobe fan, just always having that work ethic and that drive to always want to be better just also helped. Those two things I would say, or three things, the potential, athleticism, and work ethic definitely are what separated me.
Now, I want to talk about this and elaborate a little bit more on this Purdue Research Park Entrepreneurship Academy that you did.
Uh-huh.
Tell me how you ended up there and like what were kind of the takeaways and stuff like that. Like, are you maybe looking at post-football entrepreneurship kind of style of career?
I am, but well, I'll tell you. I'll answer the first question first. So how that came about, I do not remember. But like my mom was so heavily into putting me into things, making sure I was always staying busy doing something if I wasn't playing a sport or doing something. And like I said, I stopped playing football my 7th grade year, and I did the Purdue thing, the Research Academy, my 8th grade year. So I was still hurt. I had got hurt in football, and that's why I stopped playing because I missed basketball season. I was like, never again am I missing basketball season for football, for a football injury. So I'm just gonna wipe that off the table. But yeah, man, I spent that summer, the next summer at Purdue in West Lafayette, and got to meet a lot of good people that to this day are doing entrepreneurial things as far as artistry, selling art, and man, people owning all types of businesses, man, from lawyers' offices to just somebody selling T-shirts, man. People have that entrepreneurial mindset. She just said, even if it's something you don't do, she always had that. My mom always had that mindset too. Just even if you do work a 9 to 5, even if you do have a job, have something where you doing something you enjoy doing. You love to do. Because I think she loved to do her. She liked to do her job and she loved to help kids, but at the end of the day, you kind of want to have something that's yours. Like she didn't own where she was working at, so she wanted to have something that was hers. And I think she just wanted me to kind of, even if I didn't want that, just get introduced to it, the possibility.
Now, those programs are almost recruiting tactics. Obviously, it wasn't a football affiliated thing, but I mean, tell me when you're making all these decisions and you kind of have that like previous experience at like a Purdue sanctioned event. Like, I mean, what made Cincinnati just stand out above all the rest that you were like, yeah, this is where I'm going to go?
I think it was more of just the opportunity to play the position I wanted to play. Every other team wanted me to play, like basically what I'm playing now. They wanted me to play like a hybrid linebacker position, and I was like, no, I'm a safety. Being hard-headed, man. Like I didn't know anything about football, and I'm over here telling these professional scouters at these universities that I'm not playing a position. I should have just listened. But anyway, yeah, that's the whole reason behind that. They wanted me to play free safety. I wanted to play at safety. Every other school wanted me to play linebacker, and they had the major I was looking for. They were a city school, and I liked that. I was able to be around a city and also get the college experience, like the college campus experience. And if I wanted to leave the campus experience, and once I'm 21, go downtown to a bar and grab a drink or go to a club after a win, I had that option too. And we not just pigeonholed to the same bars and clubs that's on campus. So that was nice. And man, it's just they have a great fan base, believe it or not. Even though they have the Bengals and the Reds, there's a lot of Bearcats fans in Cincinnati. And Ohio State's the big school in in the state of Ohio. But man, they rep Cincinnati hard, man. The Cincinnati faithful, like they don't play. So they had some people come up and show me a good time, and I was sold, man. I feel like I was already sold when they told me I could play safety. I was like, oh, look, I'm not gonna tell them that I'm excited and this is where I'm coming, but like I was probably sold there, but yeah, everything else kind of just wrapped it up. Like, so they had my major, they had everything, man. The city experience, the college, like they had everything.
What'd you study?
I ended up studying health education, which wasn't the original major I wanted when I said they had my major, but I found out later on that the major I wanted to do, which was biomedical engineering, would have been a little too rigorous to be trying to play football. I just didn't realize how much of a commitment it was. Like, it's really a full-time job, and I didn't really understand that at the time. I was like, no, I could do that. Like, I've been taking hard classes and doing sports my whole life. But yeah, that was a different beast, man. So I ended up dropping out of biomed and switching to health education because that was something later on if I wanted to get another degree in the health field. Like, they were like, well, they take all the basic classes that you would need, so you can just take a few less classes in order to get another bachelor's and whatever else you want to get if I ever want to go back.
Fair enough. Well, it's funny. I actually ended up in Ohio once upon a time to document some field lacrosse. So the fact that you say that there's like some Bearcat faithfuls, I will say like the state of Ohio really does rep like all teams, because this field lacrosse team, man, had a fantastic facility, super diehard like fans, and a great crowd that came out for their game.
The Ohioans, I think that's what they're called. That's what people are called that live in Ohio. Yeah, they don't play about sports, man. Whether it's because I think Cleveland won the championship when I was there. And when I tell you, it looked like when Toronto won and all of Canada, every city we went to, somebody had a Toronto hat on or a jacket or something. It was the same thing. Like, dude, they are diehard.
Well, it's funny because I don't know how you feel about the Buckeyes, but I drove past that Ohio State Stadium while I was there, and that is just absolutely breathtaking.
Dude, it's crazy. It's like a whole nother level.
And even so, yeah, I remember my first year actually in Ottawa was the year that the Red Blacks won the Grey Cup, and the Senators made it all the way to the conference final in the NHL playoffs before they got eliminated to Pittsburgh. And that was just like a fun time to be in the city. Like, when sports teams are doing well, and it's just good markets, like life is just so much better. Like, it's fun.
Yeah, I feel like that was my first year there. Because I just remember the city being, everybody was super turned. Like, every bar was packed. People was flags, Senators flags flying everywhere.
Now, so when you get on campus, what's your first thoughts in Cincinnati?
Well, that was where I met my fiance. So every time I go back, man, we always got to go back to my house where we first met. So we go there. We go to all our favorite food spots because we used to stay. We love eating. So, we stayed at a restaurant, trying all these different restaurants. We foodies for real. So we still do that to this day. But we always got to visit our favorite spots, go stop by her campus. And then, if I can get on the field, I'll go on the field. If I can get in the weight room and stuff, I'll go try and get in there just to, remember the good times of, almost about to pass out, in those, between those lines. But yeah, man, she was I like to go see my dorms, the old dorms, but just go see, little places where I'm like, man, I remember when so-and-so punched the window out of this car after we beat UConn, and everybody just like reliving old memories, man. It's just crazy that time keeps going on, because they tell you when you get there, like, yeah, somebody else had this number before you, and literally in our lockers, it shows you every name that's had the number before you at Cincinnati. And so I'm just like, dang, like, it really does go on. Like, that number just gets passed on to somebody else, like, unless it gets retired. But yeah, man, time goes on, and it's just always good to go back and just relive some of them old memories.
When you committed to the Bearcats, did you have like the big kind of table with the hats and what you see, all those antics? No.
Nah, man, I was just so happy. I was so happy, man. I probably committed as soon as they told me I had an offer. Like, man, it was so crazy, man. What did I do? Oh yeah, I graduated early, so I didn't. That's why I didn't do it. I probably wouldn't have anyway, but I ended up doing the early grad transfer because I was so done with high school, man. And once they told me I had enough credits to leave early, like I'm telling you, Cincinnati, they knew all the right words to say because it was like they had my future already planned out. So as soon as they said I could graduate early and yeah, we can get you in classes as soon as January, I was like, what? And this was before my senior year started. So I'm like, I only have to do a semester of high school, one more semester of high school than I've done. Because most people, the second semester of high school, man, is like, oh my, it's like pulling teeth, dude. Like I don't want to be here. Like when you get up in the morning, it's like, I have to go back to school. I have to go to high school again. This is crazy. I'm ready for this to be over. And then I just got to, I'm pretty sure I just like tweeted it out that I was going there. And then like they called me and that was it. And then we just started planning for me to get there. Like that simple.
Do you remember any of those early Twitter replies from the Bearcats faithfuls?
Yeah, man, it blew up. Because, back then Twitter was straight retweet. Wasn't no quote tweets. It was just retweets and favorites and comments. I don't even know if it was favorites then. It might have just been retweets and comments. But it was retweeted a lot, my announcement. And then, everybody's just tweeting like, oh, so-and-so 2-star commits, 3-star commits, 3-star player commits. And, people just saying welcome and stuff. And I was just feeling on top of the world, man. It's a good time. It was a good time.
When you get tossed like that 3-star label or whatnot, like, do they let you know, like, is there more of like some information here kind of basically, or is it just like, hey, yeah, no, we think you're a 3-star, like you're a 3-star?
Yeah, I think it's just they watch you and then they just kind of like grade you off of like did you ever do like a fitness test
Yeah.
in PE? It's kind of like that.
I wasn't very good at them, but I did them.
Bruh, stop playing. But I feel like it's kind of like that. That's the best way I can say it because it'll be like they'll just literally go down the list of like footwork, speed, agility, and just grade you and then come up with a ranking at the end.
So I guess you can also kind of gauge what you need to work on then too from that.
They don't really tell you. They don't know. It's not like at least the presidential fitness test or the fitness test. They show you what you failed at. They don't. The stars, the websites don't tell you what you need to work on. You just see the final ranking, and then you're just left to figure it out on your own.
I mean, doesn't seem fair, but I'm sure it works out. And
Nah, I was just glad to be on there.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, it probably would have helped me to know, but I figured I just needed to work at everything.
And I mean, I guess that's what you did. So, like, I know you mentioned when they cut the red shirt season from you. Like, was that like that whole transition? Just take me through the days and the weeks leading up to your first game of Division I football.
Man, it was crazy, man. I just remember a lot of being in the film room, like because that first actual game week when you're like, okay, now we're focusing, like we're done focusing on us, we're focusing on we're playing Pittsburgh at the time, so like we're focusing on Pittsburgh. I'm just like, man, like we get the scouting report, they're passing it out, and you got your number at the top, and I'm looking, I'm like, man, this is crazy. Then you watching film of other teams, like, oh man, like yeah, we got this guy. He's supposed to be going here. He's a top pick. He's projected to go into the draft and blah blah blah. We got to shut him down. We got to lean this way and roll coverage. And I was just like, my mind is just swimming right now, and just I feel like I always try to like project and see myself in the game before, like while I'm watching tape before it happens. So it was kind of like a lot of that going on, picturing myself on the field. Because a lot of the tape we were watching at that time was filmed from the year before. So, I'm like, okay, I'm watching this guy. Okay, what does he do? I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do something similar to this. So that's why I said when I learned a lot from my teammates, because I was always asking questions, and I played with a lot of upperclassmen, so I was able to get a lot of information as people would take me under their wing and stuff. So it was always, man, people were always willing to teach, and that week leading up, man, was just a whole lot of teaching and guys telling me like, man, you're going to be good and you'll be ready and blah, blah, blah. And because I feel like they knew a couple of those guys were true freshmen. So they knew like that feeling of that first game. So they were just trying to, keep me calm and make sure I was confident going into the game. And that opening kickoff, the adrenaline's out there when you run out of the tunnel for the first time. Even when I'm putting on a uniform, I'm just like touching the fabric and like, wow, this is stitched. Like, this is when the Tech Fit was like, the Adidas Tech Fit was like, that was popping. Like everybody had that, or the Nike. It was either Nike or Tech Fit. And so like we had the Tech Fit jerseys and it was a blackout, and it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
As a defensive player, are you trying to learn more from maybe like the ones around you in that defensive room, or is it maybe a little bit more beneficial to say talk to like I don't know, like a Travis Kelce on the offensive side and learn from him about like what he would do, or maybe other receivers?
It was kind of a mixture of all three because, like I said, like my learning gap was so far. I just wanted to learn what what's everybody thinking, so I had to start with my own position, of course. So, learn from those guys and, just picking their brain 24/7. And, the safeties, we guard the tight ends and slot receivers and one-on-ones. And so, I recall going against Trev a lot, because they would always want to like test the freshmen and probably just piss Trev off. I don't know, like just put a freshman on him and, he's like, why are y'all putting this guy on me? But, it was always some good battles, man. So I learned a lot from him just from going against him. And, watching him work, man, he had his effort level his senior year, which was the year I played with him, was crazy. Like I've never seen anything like that at the time. So just like his work ethic and the effort level you got to have playing if you want to play at the next level. And then, picking guys' brains is about techniques and, stuff like that, like the nerdy part of football that nobody cares about. That's a fan, they just want to see big hits and interceptions and touchdowns. But like just like, positioning and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun, man. I probably got on a lot of people's nerves, but I had to. I understood I had to. If I was gonna play, I was like, I'm not about to be the one out here giving up touchdowns and messing up, man. I'm not about to be the one. So I'm gonna make sure y'all can think I'm annoying y'all, but as long as I do my job, everybody will love me.
You ever beat Travis Kelce in a one-on-one throughout those matchups, or was it just?
I mean, I'm sure I did, but I don't remember it. Because I'm not gonna sit here and say he beat me every time, but it was probably like an overthrown ball or something. Like the quarterback messed up. It probably wasn't him, because his routes were crazy. He ran like a receiver, man.
Well, I think that's what a lot of people almost accredit him. Like he's not even really a tight end as much as maybe just a receiver.
Because they said he came in as a quarterback too, so I'm sure like his understanding of the game and like the openings and zones and and coverage, reading coverage, man. This man was a freak. Like it was hard to stop him for sure. And he could block. That's one, the effort level that he had running routes. He had the same effort blocking. So it was like he was a perfect fit for the league, honestly.
Is there any Travis Kelce story that kind of maybe reigns higher than more or less sticks in the memory still to this day?
Probably just that, man, competing in practice, because I just love to compete. Like I said, like competing is like my favorite thing. Like I still play video games to this day, man, just because I love getting online and talking shit and beating people up, like beating people in games. Like I'm just a guy that likes to, compete. So, competing against him, not knowing at the time like who he was, like I'm telling you, I didn't know a lick about anything. Like if anybody was going to the draft or anything, like I would have not known, because I was just like, oh, he's our tight end at Cincinnati. So like that's where my head was at. So I should be able to guard our starting tight end at Cincinnati if I want to be a starter on his defense, right? It only makes sense because I'm gonna be going against other teams, number one tight ends and number one receivers. So I was like, okay, well, I need to learn every route this guy runs, how he runs it, fakes, move, shoulder movements. So just the constant grind of trying to figure out how to guard this man, because I was just always trying to figure out how I can guard this dude. But yeah, I'd probably say that's the biggest thing, just competing in practice.
I think some people are probably surprised with maybe the career that he's blossomed into, because I mean he's arguably the top tight end in the NFL right now. I mean I put him at number one. You know, some people may throw George Kittle in as a debate, but
I mean he is, but George Kittle is a top tight end, but like he can't be better than Trav. Like there's no way.
No, I don't think so either. And I mean Gronk being back is, that I don't know. I think that's just diehard Patriots fans maybe holding on to that debate a little too hard. But
I'm a Kobe fan, so I've been there. When his time was over, and I'm still like, no, he's still playing. He's still the best. But we all know LeBron was definitely the better player at the time.
So I'm assuming, as a guy who got to see him in his senior year, you're not really surprised, of the career that he's really developed into.
I mean, I never saw that because maybe just my like not knowing like what an NFL tight end even is supposed to look like. Like I don't know what that looks like. So I would say no, just from that perspective, not because he wasn't good enough, but just because I literally had no clue. Like he ended up even going to a team that ended up taking what's now people even argue has the best quarterback. So, it was just kind of like the guy has just carved out a heck of a career, a Hall of Fame career. Like, and it's just crazy to know that, I even got to share the same locker room with somebody like that, because that's just something you can tell your kids. Like he did all the work, but at one point in time we were teammates, and he was a leader on our team. So we were led by a Hall of Famer. Who not many people can say that. Not everybody can say that. So it was just, man, a pleasure to even see him do that. Like it's not like we were like best buds, but because I'm an underclassman and he's a fifth-year senior. But like little does he know, like from afar, like that was somebody like a lot of us looked up to. Like we wanted to be that, or we strive to be that. And so for him to do it, man, and have been in the same locker room as us, like that's all we wanted. Everybody wants to have that Hall of Fame career. Everybody wants to play in the league, but then to have that kind of career, it's like, man, hats off to him, man, because he's a dog. He worked for it and he got it.
I'm still trying to figure out how I can play in the league, man, and I'm 23. I never played a snap in my life.
Man, it's hard, man.
So
it's hard.
When you in your second season, when you get moved eventually into the position that you are in now, like linebacker, it from our conversation, the reason you went to Cincinnati was because you wanted to play in that safety role. Did you was this a change that was welcome arms, or did you feel maybe a little bit betrayed?
No, I was pissed. I felt like I was being, especially after being like a true freshman, like I haven't played. Like I thought I would have transitioned the next year and only gotten better, at the position, and then having to learn a whole new position. Like it's, especially me being this, I'm still a toddler. My football IQ is still super young. So like to start over again, it was like, okay, I got to do this all over again. And now it was a tough time, man. That was a tough time because it was a tough pill to swallow. because I felt like even wherever else, like if I wanted to transfer, I had a conversation with my dad. I'm like, if I want to transfer, every other school wanted me to play linebacker. So this is like the writings on the wall. You liked Cincinnati. You wanted to go to Cincinnati, just be at Cincinnati. So I stuck it out and, ended up having a fairly decent career, man. And just kept trying to get better, man. No matter what, I just always had that mentality of just making sure no matter what, just that I'm always getting better every year. Because I don't want that. I didn't want that potential to just go to waste. That everybody, all the work people put in to get me in that position, I just didn't want it to go to waste. So I just always wanted to just keep getting better. And but that was definitely a tough time, man. It's like somebody like you had a position at work, and then they like, oh well, we need you over here, and it's like, well, I've never done that, but well, it's okay, we'll teach you. It's like, damn. And it's the same pay. I'm like, why can't I just do what I know how to do? Granted, it turned out and helped me in the long run because I was able to, play in Canada at the linebacker position. And I feel like having that safety background kind of helped me.
Yeah, well, it's bigger field. So, if you know how to kind of cover and get from sideline to sideline a little bit easier, that's definitely got to be beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think when in 2014 when you're setting career highs at Cincinnati, do you kind of credit that to finally maybe coming into your own a little bit? Obviously, you're more mature. You've grown now into the game. You've been playing longer.
Yeah, I definitely had a better understanding of because I was still it was a hybrid linebacker position that everybody else was trying to get me to come to their school and play. So it wasn't too far. It wasn't too different from safety. I was just close to the box. That's what they were basically telling me when they moved me. And so the next season, because my whole sophomore year, they didn't even play me. I don't even think I played in any games on defense. Like they had like sub packages for me to play, but I don't think I really played that much. It was all special teams. So the next year I came in, like I was so hungry and, I was ready. I was hungry coming off my freshman year, man, because I was like, I'm only going to get better and I'm only going up from here at that position. And so I wanted to take that next step and then show them that I could play. And I think I did that. And, they saw some probably flashes of me doing some good things and still some moments where I would still, struggle and not be understanding the play or like what's happening. Like, it's just so many things that in football that you have to experience to understand. And so, having those experiences definitely helped so that the next year I come in, I just felt a little bit more confident and I was able to just be more instinctive.
Big East and AAC champion. I feel like those got to be highlights, like just memories that you'll never live down.
Nah, man, those were great times because the day Kerry Combs came to my high school and shook my hand. Cincinnati was, I feel like, one of the last schools to offer me, but he came to my school and he had 4 championship rings on one hand, and it was a right hand because he shook my hand, and literally all 4 rings are glistening in the light. Like we're just in the school gymnasium and like they're shining like super bright. And I'm like, how do I get one of you? I want one of those. And he's like, you want one of these? You come to Cincinnati. So you will win a championship. And I'm telling you, man, they knew all the right things to say. So I was like, man, 4 championship rings. Nobody else has got here with no championship rings. Now, granted, Wisconsin ended up winning that year, my first year. They ended up winning the Big Ten championship. But I don't think they won it again after that. So I definitely think I chose the right place because I ended up getting 2 of them.
Yeah, that's recruiting tactic 101. Show up with as many championship rings as you've got.
Dude, it works, especially for your bottom of the barrel people, man. Because I was like, man, I want to win. I want to play in front of a lot of people, but I want to win. I don't, because I could have went to IU, my home school, Indiana, but they just didn't have a really good track record for the football team, and I would have loved because they were pitching like, oh, we can turn the program around. We need more Indiana guys, and I feel like I'm like a really loyal guy when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like I would have loved to stay home, but like at the end of the day, I want to win. Like I'm so competitive. Like I couldn't. I imagine like what if I go there and have a losing season all 4 years? I would have been miserable. I would have never went to class. I wouldn't have been doing anything. So I knew I had to go somewhere with that had some type of winning pedigree, and they had it. So having those championships, man, was I'll definitely never forget that, man, because that's why you play the game. You play the game to win championships.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people realize how like wonderful winning is, and like in any role, in any atmosphere, like dude, like it sucks losing. And I've been fortunate enough to work with a bunch of teams with like real good records, and like a difference between losing a hockey game is typically at most levels you're playing in like 2 days or maybe even a day. Football, you got to sit on that for a week. And if you
Yeah,
get like a 2 game losing streak, which isn't much in other sports, that 2 weeks sucks.
it's a
Like
long 2 weeks, man.
the vibe's different. It just seems to be like every outdoor practice is raining and miserable, and it's just like, man, like what, like life right now.
I don't even think I knew what to do. Like the last year in Ottawa, like I honestly didn't even know what to do. Like I had never experienced that ever because I like the short time I had been playing, I always won. First year I played on the team, it was my first year in high school. When I said we went to the state championship, it was the first time our high school had ever made it past like you have to win 5 games to get a state championship. They've only ever won like 2 was the most they ever won. So like we were making history, and that was the first time I touched the football since I was in middle school. Like so, like all I'd known was winning, and so that was tough, man. Like, but I feel like I needed to go through that, right? I never had that experience, so like I said, like every football experience helps you grow. Like every experience in life helps you grow, and so like having gone through that, it sucked because I freaking hate losing. But like I don't even think I handled. I think I handled like being a pro well, but I don't think I I wasn't the first one to like stand in the front to try to like right the ship. Like I was maybe one to just be in the back and be like, you know what, I'm gonna just do my job. I'm gonna come to work, and I'm more of a lead by example guy. But I feel like that was an example of that was a situation where this isn't lead by example right now. Like we're getting beat up. Like this is a step to the forefront, and um, be a vocal leader. And I definitely feel like I slipped up on that aspect. But man, people definitely don't they take winning for granted, man. Winning is great. That's why everybody wants to win. They say the participation trophies, man. I don't understand that because at the end of the day, like I have this trophy, but like I didn't win. Like at the end of the day, this guy can look at me and be like, "I beat you," and that just does not sit well with me at all.
I think it's a valid point. Yeah, I even I think I have like some participation medals,
Mm-hmm.
just from like the young ones, and I got some
Yeah,
decent
it's
like
when you're a kid.
yeah, and like even that I look at them and I'm just like, man, like I don't like having this on. Like
Yeah, why do I
I
have this?
yeah.
Literally.
But then like, dude, like I'll look at like a gold medal from a provincial soccer tournament, and I'll just be like, man, like I hold so much pride to this, and like, yeah, some people might like roll their eyes at me being like, oh, like glorifying the high school days, but it's like, man, at the time, like that was all you
Ah,
worked for, right?
what? Because at the end of the day, there's somebody that was playing provincial soccer that wanted the gold medal and didn't get it. And they got silver, they got bronze, or they didn't get one at all. So maybe somebody on the outside can say that, but I guarantee you, every person that has a gold medal is not going to say that. And that's why you want to win. That's
Exactly.
why you
Yeah.
want to win.
It's even funny, man. I'm not much of a runner, but I've tried to be a runner. Like I just try and get into it. So I did the Telly 10, which is a 10-mile road race out here in Newfoundland.
Uh,
And bro, my time is terrible. I have like a what for kilometers, I think like a 12-minute pace. Like I'm not fast, right? By no means.
not
And
right now.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. We'll see. maybe you can teach me a thing or two because I don't
Oh yeah, we got
conditioning,
some
man.
running techniques, bro.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's all about technique. So you don't
Yeah.
you're not working too hard running.
But man, I even remember in that race, like I was like running past like an old lady who was in like the 60 plus category. Like she was like 60 years old, and I'm like, yeah, that's right, man. Like I'm beating you, I'm passing you.
Yeah,
And
seriously. So I'm
man,
like, all
that's
right.
just
After then, you like, all right, I passed her. Now I'm looking at the next person. Like, all right, they keeping at the same pace of me right now. Okay, I don't think I'm ready to pass them yet. But you like, oh, you know, it's one at a time. Like it's the small battles too. Like you winning your one-on-one matchup in the game might save a touchdown, or just having a one-on-one play is a win. Like that's a win too. Like you want to win that and win the game. Like when I have a game and I have a pick and a forced fumble in the same game and we freaking lose, I'm like, bro, I did like why? Like I should have had 5, or I should have scored a touchdown. I should have ran it out the end zone like a freaking actual football player. Like so it's just like you want to win, man, but you want to win the game.
Yeah, it's the competitive mindset, and that's something that I just always kind of notice, and I try and like recognize some of the situations that I'm in with it because like I've been doing some boxing classes and trying to get into that sport a little bit more because it's like relatively cheaper, like it's a individual kind of thing, and like we'll do the class and it's like, all right, man, like I'm here to work and I'm gonna be the best one, and like if yeah, I mean, am I gonna be a professional boxer? No. You give me the opportunity to do it, step in a ring in an amateur fight, yeah, like let's I'll try it. I might get
Yeah,
knocked
that's
out in the
it.
process, but I'm gonna be competitive, and hopefully I'm gonna be standing, with my hands in the air at the end of it.
Yeah. Or maybe not that time, but maybe the next fight. That's what I'm saying. Like it's live to see another day, man. Like, all right, I took my L. Now I'm gonna correct what I need to correct, and I'm gonna come back better. I might even fight the same person again just so I get that satisfaction. Like, no, the last time, no, you just got me last time. You're not better than me. Like,
No, I love talking competitive mindsets, but tell me about the time in between. So like when you finish up at Cincy, and then like what kind of brought you to the CFL? Like when did you really like that kind of step come on your radar there?
the high school, my high school position coach that I said was helping me a lot with the recruiting process. He played in the CFL and I think for a bit, and had some connections with some guys up there, and so he was sending my film, man, and talking to guys, and I ended up getting a workout with Toronto from someone he knew while I was up here visiting my girlfriend, her family for the first time. So I worked out for them, man, and they literally signed me the next day. I was like shocked. I'm always shocked, man. I was because they had just finished training camp. Like they were literally about to play their first game. Like I did the workout on their last day of training camp. I'm pretty sure they were walking in. I was seeing Tori Gurley, all them guys, man. Like they were walking in off the field, and I'm walking on the field with my girlfriend. We just took the bus to Guelph University to do this workout, and I'm nervous, but at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I have nothing to lose. Like I'm just here having fun. I'm here to have fun. Like it's good to be back on the field, man. To have people looking at you and evaluating your skill level and talent. So I just, it was a good measuring stick to see if I could actually, keep playing or if I should just be done. And as soon as they signed me, I was like, oh, okay. They signed me and cut me quick, but just that little bit of time, that week, I gained enough confidence to get back in the gym. As soon as we left Toronto and went back to Cincinnati, I started training by myself. But I just started getting back in the gym, eating better, just trying to get myself back in that somewhat of football shape. And I got another tryout with Ottawa, so I was making sure I was ready the next time. I killed that tryout. The rest is history, man.
How's it been in the CFL? Just kind of adjusting, as an American player. Obviously it is a little bit different.
Not hard because just being a baby in the game, man. Like when I was, because I'm definitely not now. But when I was like, I've already been through that process, so I just know. So like I said, experiences. So that I've had that experience. So when I came to this, I'm like, okay, I can learn this. I probably learned it in like 3 days. Like maybe not so like the rules, like the ball going out the end zone is a point, and like the kicking it back and forth and understanding that. Like there were definitely some game situations I wasn't ready for, but lied and said I was, but because I was like, no, I'm playing. Like, but yeah, like the main stuff, like the no contact and defensive pass interference and stuff like that. Like the things you have to do to adjust to the game. Like it didn't take me long to adjust and figure that stuff out.
And now, one of the newest members of the Edmonton football team. First and foremost, man, congrats. I'm not gonna lie, my heart broke a little bit when I saw that, but I'm happy for you. Just kind of tell me about the decision and yeah, Edmonton.
Yeah, man. It was just it made the most sense for me at the time, man. You know, Marcel and those guys, man, Jeremy and all those guys, and JM, PY, um, all my teammates, man, they were, man. My time at Ottawa was great. Um, you saw me from afar. I mean, if it looked like I wasn't having a good time, it was probably the year we was losing. But I still had a good time, man, just being around those guys, and those are good people. But Edmonton, that was just, Coach Thorpe's there, Coach Elizondo's there. I got a lot of other former teammates there. It just made sense. I'm gonna already know the defensive scheme, which also helps. I've never had a defensive coach more than a season. Coach Thorpe was actually the longest defensive coach I've ever had since I've been playing. Oh no, since high school. That would have been since high school. I had a different defensive coach every year in Cincinnati. I had Nelly for my first year, and then Thorpe the second and third year I was there. So this would be the third year I've had him as my coach, which I'm still making history right now. This is about to be the third year in a row I'll know the defense for the same coach. So just that whole aspect of it. And Brock said he's scouted me while he was there, and I kind of enjoyed that the GM actually knows me and has scouted me and seen me play, and so I know he actually wants me there, not just like, oh, come, let's see what you can do. Like he knows what I can do, but obviously I have to go prove it. But he kind of has an idea of who I am as a person and not just a football player just from film. So that was good. And just like I said, it just made sense, man. Teammates, we got Trev, one of my favorite quarterbacks I've ever played for. In that short time that we were together, just a great leader, man, great guy. And you want to play for people like that, man. So I don't forget that kind of stuff, man. When you meet people and you play with guys, play for guys, it leaves that leaves an impression on you. And I've definitely had all good impressions on everyone that on my new organization in Edmonton, and because I don't think we have a name yet, so it's just the Edmonton football team still. So I'm just grateful, man, to be in a position where I can even still play football and still prove to myself that I can be better than I was the last time I was on the field, because I definitely can be.
Have you had a chance to be out in Edmonton yet? I know you've played some road games there, but have you been able to check out the new facility, be there as a member of that football club?
No, I heard it's nice though, but no, I've never seen it on the inside other than the visitors' locker room. That's the only part I've seen.
Does that feel a bit crazy to you though? Like you're going into a situation where it
was wild, and it kind of felt like how I did the first time I came to Ottawa. But there's still that certain level, man. When I came to Ottawa, it was we had like a family like going away party, and I just remember telling everybody like, I'm not coming back. Like I'm not, like everybody's like good luck, like we hope you make the team, and I was like, I'm not coming back. Like I'm making the team. Like that was my mentality from jump. Like I don't know what's about to happen, but I know I'm not coming home. So It's just the same thing, man. Like it's a new place, which is always, that's always going to be a struggle in its own, trying to find a place to live and stuff like that, and figure out the area and food. At least we'll have all new food places to try. Dang, but the COVID, man, it's all right. We getting takeout. I'm getting takeout of everything. It's gonna suck. I can't get it fresh, but we're gonna have to. We still gonna be trying to try everywhere, and then man, being in a new facility, that's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun because I enjoyed it in Ottawa for the first time, so I know it'll be fun in Edmonton.
This whole foodie vibe, like when did that really transpire? Like that, hey, I'm gonna be a self-proclaimed foodie here.
My dad is, so
Yeah,
that's
okay.
like it's he was always he just coming home with different food, like, oh, try this. So like, what is this? Like, he's not gonna tell you what it is, just eat it. He'd be like, yeah, here, it's some lamb. Like, lamb? What 8-year-olds eating lamb? Like, I'm over here getting like real, like, yeah, just try this smoked salmon. Like, wait, what? I was just always trying. He's been a traveler, man, and his thing is when I go to a different city, that's what we did. We ate the cuisine of the city we were in, or whatever they were known for.
So now tell me, what's Kevin's all-time favorite meal? What's Kevin's all-time favorite pregame meal, post-game meal, and then a cheat day meal?
All-time favorite meal? Hey, low-key now, bro, it might be some jerk chicken and rice and peas, bro. Like, I feel like that might be my new favorite, because it used to be lasagna. I'm a big Italian man. I love Italian food, and but I probably have to say jerk chicken, man, and some man, the oxtail gravy on the rice, man, with the plantain, and then pregame spaghetti and meatballs for sure. I'm a spaghetti guy before the game. Post game, I ate a lot of fish tacos, man. I ate a lot of fish tacos at that place across the street, that little bar.
Oh, with the like the El Camino, like
yeah,
yeah, man, they got good fish tacos. I don't blame you,
bro. It was so good, man. So like, I would say that because in college they used to just give you food and I would just eat whatever. Like, it was always some BS, but like that was like a time where I was actually like I have money. Like, I could go. We're going to a restaurant. We're going somewhere with good food. So like, I'm eating that every game, man. We're eating fish tacos, win or loss. We're getting fish tacos. So I would say fish tacos post game. And then do cheat day. I just might have to be pizza, man. Pizza has a special place in my heart. Pizza and cheeseburgers. I honestly don't know how I'm not fat. I mean, I guess I do know, but like, dude, pizza and cheeseburgers. I'll be having to control myself because I could probably eat like way too many of both.
Fair enough. You know what? I agree with pretty much all of that. I'm not a big on.
What's your favorite meal though? What's your favorite like this is number one? Actually, no. Give me your top three. What's your top three?
So I will say like because I was gonna say I'm not a big fan of spaghetti and meatballs. I don't like that.
I don't blame you. I mean,
but I ate too much of it when I was a kid and I got sick, so it's kind of set me off since then.
I had a similar experience.
Number one, my mom does up a dish of like sweet and sour meatballs with just white rice.
Oh yeah, it's probably fine.
That one's good. Number two, I mean, the thing is, so dude, I've been eating in like a caloric deficit for, the better part of like 4 months now. So like my meals have just been all like pretty like, your boneless skinless chicken breast.
Okay, before the diet change, what was your top three? Like, these are if I could ask for these.
Yeah, so the sweet and sour meatballs number one. I'll go with
Never had that. You're making me want to try it now. Like number one, that's high. So like I want to try that now.
Hey, listen, dude, you come to Newfoundland,
Oh, we
like,
coming to me Newfoundland. I'm not getting sweet and sour meatballs. I need crab legs immediately. I need
listen,
crab legs.
you come to Newfoundland, and I'm not joking. This isn't exaggerating. You can have the spare bedroom in my family home, so you're not going to pay for a hotel while you're here. I'll make sure the whole thing is planned, so like you'll get to try like my mom's sweet and sour meatballs. But then I'll also bring you down to the Bonavista Social Club, wood oven pizza from Chef Katie. It's absolutely fantastic. You said beer guy, so we'll stop in the Port Rexon Brewery. They got grilled cheeses there with like partridge berries and stuff like that, berries and jam and cheese. It's insane. So I think that would
be 5 pounds heavier.
I'd plan it all in. I'd give you the full hospitality tour, 100%. I love when it doesn't happen often, but when people are here, like, or people even send me like a message of like, "Hey, I'm thinking of coming to Newfoundland. What should I do?" It's a paragraph from me. I got you. But
all right, I might have to do that then for sure.
I think number 2 is I'll keep on the pizza train, like going down and having like that Bonavista Social Club pizza. But then also adding in like the Port Rexon beer and the they have some like great desserts down that way too. And then number 3 is any kind of like seafood dish, man, like lobster, scallops, like all that stuff together.
That's
Mussels.
the East Coast. That's the East Coast.
Yeah,
it's got to be. I was gonna say if that's not your top 3, look. I'll tell you, bro.
Yeah, I tell you what I've been enjoying though, and I don't know, maybe you'll agree or you'll disagree, but one of the most underrated sides I think is a really like oven baked Brussels sprout. I think that's a sleeper.
I love vegetables. I'm weird, so I'll definitely take some grilled Brussels sprouts, even in the oven. Is that what you said? You said oven?
Yeah, oven.
Oven, grilled, sauteed. I don't care.
You ever get out to try Lexington Smokehouse and Bar out in Ottawa?
Nah, that didn't sound familiar.
I worked there for a couple of years as just like a bar back and a host. It's like, so like Lexington, Kentucky. So the whole menu is like kind of based off of like that, like Kentucky style food, I guess. So it's like they got these like charred Brussels sprouts with like a garlic aioli, stuff like fantastic.
Now I'm well familiar with Lexington. My sister went to UK, so
okay,
I'm well familiar with that area. But I don't think I've ever had grilled Brussels sprouts.
Hey,
not in Lexington. I don't think I've ever had vegetables in Lexington, man. They just French fries and ribs, chicken.
Well, it's I mean, I could be wrong, but apparently the like one of the main owners or whatnot, he would always go down to like Lexington, Kentucky, where his family was from in the summer, and he would just kind of like integrate like different things. So like your classic like cornbreads, your ribs, like all that like good stuff. I loved it there. Every chance that like I could. I mean, obviously I worked there, so I got the staff discount, and as a student, it was like, hey, this is some good food for a decent price.
It is. It is, man. Working at a restaurant, my first job was at B-Dubs while I worked at our campus B-Dubs at Cincy one summer. We just do a little summer workouts. It's like 2 hours, and then we got like the whole day. You're not doing anything because no class. So I got a job at B-Dubs, man. And I'll tell you what, I've never eaten that many wings in my entire life. To this day. How old would I have been? 19? Yeah, no. I was eating wings. I was bringing wings because, people sometimes order in, like, they'll make like I want a 50 wing order, and then not even come and get it, or come in and be like, oh, this is cold because it's been like an hour since they ordered it, and then they're like, oh, make me a fresh one. So they'll make a fresh one and leave it, and they'll throw the chicken away. So I was like, give me that chicken. I would literally put it in a plastic bag and like put it underneath like the where the staff people like would keep our like coats and stuff and jackets and stuff like that. Right. I had so many wings, like, bro, I had wings for everybody. Everybody in the dorm ate good. When I went to work, I worked like 3 days a week. When I left work, people knew to knock on my door. I was getting a knock on my door every day I came home from work because I
Yeah,
had wins. No,
I definitely think that's one of those underrated college life hacks, man. It's like work at a restaurant as like maybe a day, 2 days a week. It's a
free
game
food,
changer.
man. Either you getting free or the discount, like you said, and it's gonna
Mm.
be good. It's gonna be good food because you're getting it from a restaurant. So them people actually back there cooking it. It's not no heated up, nothing like not working at McDonald's or like a fast food. Oh, get a bartending job at somewhere that serves some good food and reap all the benefits.
No, I love it. I could talk food all night, but I want to ask you one last thing with football. I know you were you've been close to a Grey Cup before. What do you think is going to really, I guess need to happen for you to really, stand on top of the CFL standings at the end of the year and get yourself a Grey Cup?
Well, it's going to be a lot of because if we ended up playing like a shortened season or even just having not played for a year, it's gonna take a lot of cohesion, like a whole bunch of individuals coming together at the right time. So I learned a lot from Coach Campbell and that era mentality. 1% better every day. That's honestly gonna be what it takes to get to the top. And we have a lot of people there, man, that understand that mentality. And, there's going to be other teams. There's going to be obstacles that are going to happen. There's going to be things out of our control, with COVID and stuff that may happen where the season starts again. It's going to be who's ever able to like maintain that focus and that cohesion throughout the entire season. I feel like that's what it's going to take to get to the top. I feel like I'm confident in saying that. Obviously,
Hey,
skill and talent and that stuff, but like definitely that cohesion.
yeah, I think you're right, and you know what, man, I appreciate your time. This is everything and so much more that I had for you. More or less, this is the part of the show where I hand the show over to you. So it's your show now. You can chat about whatever you want, life lesson, childhood story. I mean, realistically, whatever you want to say, man. It's all it's. Hey,
All right,
I'll
it's
shut
my
up.
show now.
Yeah.
It's my show now. And we're about to talk some basketball real quick. All right. So let me see. First of all, do you have an NBA team? A favorite NBA team or player? Actually, I
Yeah,
need both. Team and player.
Raptors.
Okay.
I'm Canadian. I think in terms of favorite player, I had man, it was weird. Funny enough, you'll appreciate this as an Indiana guy. I was gifted at like 8 years old, random town in
You
Newfoundland.
shoot.
I was gifted a Reggie Miller Indiana
Reggie.
Pacers.
Yep. Yep. That's a great answer, man.
So I've
Are you
really
just saying that? You're just saying that because I'm from Indiana, actually.
not even. I kind of clicked. Like I was like, oh yeah. So I've always, obviously I was way too young to really like enjoy his career, but I really liked watching back like the documentaries and just kind of learning this like random jersey that was gifted to me.
Yeah, man. Oh, you was 31?
Yeah.
So you had the jumper and you was 31. That's big. That's big. That's some next level stuff right there. Because even in Indy, man, people were not going for 31. Like that was not a number, the first number that was being taken. It might not have even been being taken, honestly. Like Reggie was for as big as a star as he was, like for our generation, he's just a TV analyst. Like that's what I feel like a lot of people just know him for now. They don't even remember when he was a sniper like that and going at Jordan like that last the documentary, Michael Jordan documentary. Like I love to see that because like that behind the scenes, even with that like that series, like I remember that series, but I was so like we were so young, like I was young as hell. I don't remember any of that.
I really enjoy looking back on that era of basketball, like the Bad Boys, like the Detroit Pistons, like that crowd, like those documentaries are just so cool, and there's just something different about it, man.
Yeah, like knowing your history, man. Like we love these sports, but like the history behind it, and the way the game has changed and evolved. Like you appreciate each like era, like because every era is usually different. It's different than the ones before. So it's just cool to like to see because you can go on YouTube and watch all of this stuff, but like you can watch games, but it's another thing to like get that behind the scenes and talk to former players about what it was like going through that, you know, playing against these guys when they were at the top and winning all the time. You know, it's just cool, man. Especially being from Indiana, because we got Larry Bird, and even though Reggie's not from Indiana, I mean, we adopted him just like we did Peyton. You know, we're a small city, man, so it don't take much for us. you do something great, we're latching on. So, you know, those two guys, man, they got a special place. So that's funny you say Reggie, man, because that was definitely a childhood, like that was a neighborhood hero. Even though we wasn't picking his number. Everybody was going for 23. Everybody going for 23. Everybody's going for 3. He wouldn't like that, but that's the truth.
Listen, I have no idea like how or why I got gifted to it, but man, I always used to and I was never a great basketball player. Like Newfoundland Winter Games, career high 3 points.
That's cool. As long as you was 1 for 1.
I can't
You
even
might have
remember.
been. Yeah, you might have been. You don't know. We just know you were 1 for 1. You were 1 for 1. That's it.
You know what? There's probably nobody fact checking me, so I could have just, man, I could lie, be like, yeah, 30 points. You know, that's just
tell your kids 30 points.
But no, man, my basketball career was more or less like messing around in gym class, roll my ankle, and I have a big hockey tournament that I would have to miss on the weekend, and you know, coaching staff and player teammates would never be happy.
You went through the same thing. That's exactly what I went through, man. So you understand my pain. Because when I missed that, you know, when you're that young, like you're like, this is everything. Like I'm gonna be the best hockey player that ever lived. And you're telling me from messing around on a basketball court, I have to miss my tournament? No, never again.
Yeah. But it's man, and I will say, like, I think, and I hate saying this because like I always want to like state for the record that I wasn't a great athlete. I was smart. Like I knew the games and I studied the games, and I could kind of, in certain situations, I could put myself just in a better situation to be good and like have like, you know, whatever role I was given, like I would make sure I'm the best person in that role, right? So rarely was I ever a starter, but when it did happen, like in soccer and in hockey, like I was gonna do my best, and like I'd make sure that I was there, right? And I would perform to a level that we wouldn't lose because of me, but we wouldn't win because of me, but damn well, like, we're not gonna lose because of me, right? So that was always kind of like the mentality. But basketball was just one of those sports for me that I couldn't, like, no matter what I did, and I just couldn't get good at it. Like I couldn't get okay with it, and like, yeah, like we'd probably lose a game because of me.
You hate to say it. You gotta start laughing because nobody wants to say that. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, not every sport gonna be for everybody. Like, I've done sports. Like, I was terrible. Like baseball. Like if we had baseball film right now, like I feel like I stopped when I was in like 3rd or 4th grade. Like, if we had baseball tape, like no. Obviously, base running was a strength in outfield. Like, but no, I was terrible at hitting. As soon as we started doing coaching pitch, bro, I was like, yeah, this might not be for me. Cause, or no, it was players pitch. Coach's pitch was still easy. I was like underhand, like they just throwing it underhand. But that when them kids, them 4th graders that have been practicing pitching, they start throwing that ball. I was like, oh no, I don't think this is for me. Honestly, I'm about to strike out every time, and I'm gonna be pissed. I just know how I am. Like, if you're a competitor, you don't like to lose. Like, it's either gonna drive you to get better, or you just like, no, I'm gonna move on because I know I'm better at something else.
I think that might be one of the hardest tasks in sport, though, if not the hardest, is like to hit a moving pitch. Like the fact that like something's getting thrown at you from whatever feet away the mound is. Yeah, like that reaction time, like the margin of error, like that's, I don't know. I feel like that might have to be one of the hardest things in sport to do is hit a baseball.
Literally. It has to be, man. Because even to this day, man, if we go to the batting cage, like, I'm going to hit the ball, but like I'm hitting ground balls. I'm not hitting home runs. Like, these dudes are really effortlessly hitting home runs. Like, home run derby, they're smacking it out the park.
And when you go to the batting cage, you're not getting any movement. Like, imagine, because the thing is like, yeah, some guys can hit like 100 plus with a fastball, but there are others who are also throwing like a curveball in at like 95.
I was just watching the game the other night, man. Dude threw a slider, and like obviously, like you said, like you're at the professional level, man. You understand the game. You know who's pitching to you right now. What balls they like to throw. So he literally swung the ball like almost. It looked like a golf swing, like it was going right into the ground, and he swung it like up home run. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Like that wouldn't have been a pitch I even swung at. Like
the thing is too is imagine like I just look at it like you're at the top, like you're one of the elite levels if you're hitting at like a 300 batting average, so you're failing 70% of the time. So like imagine if you as a linebacker miss 70% of your tackles.
Yeah, you're gonna be at home. You ain't gonna be a linebacker. What? That's how you know the percentage is low for the elite guys. Then like low as far as like just basic math. Like that's crazy, man.
Any other basketball tidbits from Kevin Brown himself?
Yeah, this is my show now, so we're gonna. What about music? I want to know about music. So, what kind of music do you listen to?
So funny enough, this seems to be another linebacker at the University of Ottawa. I had him on about a month ago, and he asked me the same question.
Good.
So
now, what is your answer?
We did.
Give me a quick one because everybody else already knows the answer that listens to the podcast, but I don't know the answer, so I want to know.
Yeah. So what I did with him is I just kind of held out my Spotify because man, I'm all over the place, right? Like,
all right. No. Put the phone down. I got another question, then.
Okay.
All right. Well, then, give me your top 3 artists right now. Favorite artists right now that you would listen to. Just give me the top 3 artists.
Okay.
Favorite artists to listen to, because obviously you say all over the place, and I know what that's like. But so give me your favorite artists to listen to. Like when these people come on, you like it's just a different feeling.
Okay, so I'll go with number 1, Louis Capaldi. Or sorry, not number 1. These aren't really ranked, but like
you give it to the 3.
I just think like his songs are just like they're great. You can kind of sing along to him, get you in your feels a little bit, and he's just kind of someone who I'll toss on frequently. Maybe there's a little bit of heartbreak behind. But
we all go through that. So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You get that kind of music and make you feel.
Yeah. So Louis Capaldi, man, I think his stuff is great. I mean, Canadian, like I love Drake. Like I feel like that's almost a cop-out answer, but
no, it's not a cop-out answer. That's an acceptable answer. That's an acceptable answer for me, man.
And
Drake's
cold. Yeah, Drake, and then I mean, I've been really enjoying lately. I got to get the name because listen, this isn't me trying.
This is your last one. You got to make sure it's right.
Yeah. So I've been really enjoying that. Dude, I hate because I'm gonna butcher names and stuff like that. Ian Dior, he's been on that track, like the Mood track with like 24K Golden.
Ian, I'd have to hear it. I don't even know how to say the name then.
Dior.
Yeah, Dior.
Dior, yeah.
I don't know who that is, but if that's your top 3, then tell
that's
the
my
people
top
that's
3. I'm less listening to, but man, like
your favorite to listen to right now. That's who you listening to. Your favorite when they come on.
But dude, here's the thing. I'm also brutal with it. So these are just the people who are in the Spotify recommended playlist for me.
But that's what I'm saying. But in your recommended playlist, I feel like even if somebody like that doesn't have a playlist, if they just listen to the radio, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, like I like these songs. Like I like these artists. Like every time these artists play on the radio, like it's usually good music to me."
The 3 people, I'll say the 3 people that I search up the most though would be Jay-Z, the Arizona, I forget his last name now. And pardon me.
What's the first name? Arizona.
Yeah. I don't know. Roxanne, that song, that's him.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know that, but I know that song.
And then I'll listen to Kanye too. Like Kanye's
that's my favorite artist, man. That's a great list. Jay-Z and Kanye are at the top for me. So that's a great list, man. 2 out of 3. We got a lot in common already.
Those are
great search.
like those are the three that like, because the other guys that I kind of listed, like they're just like the playlists that I get recommended, they have the best songs in those playlists, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
the three
yeah,
that like I'll strictly kind of like search up and actually like listen to. Those three, Frank Ocean's in there as well. Another
yeah.
guy who's a little bit of a sad vibe kind of thing, or like
Man.
in your feels or whatnot.
Look, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. These are great. These are great picks right now. I'm liking those three. I don't know the other guy. Amazon. You said his name Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That Roxanne song. That's like that's the only song I've heard of his. So I can't even really judge. I don't really know, but
That's his like that's what everybody kind of knows him for, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
just kind of went in and I seen some stuff about him, like some videos and like like people kind of talking about him. So I looked more into him. I found
Uh,
some other tracks that I thought were pretty good. Like I like listening to him, but
yeah, he
yeah,
probably got some good stuff, man. That's what I'm saying. I just didn't like that song, but that don't mean he doesn't make good music. So who am I to say?
there are a lot of artists, man. Their most popular song is by far not their best one.
Right, the ones that everybody know that they be like,
Mm.
"Oh, I love that song," but I hate that damn song. But yeah, he's a great artist, though. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
For
man,
sure.
I'm brutal. I'm brutal with those questions. Like I gotta get better at them because obviously people are asking
No,
me.
that was
But
good though. I like that. You should
yeah,
go with the search answers though.
yeah,
I like the search answers better because that was like, yeah, because I know for a fact those are the people you like listening to. Then if you're searching them and not just, oh, I like this in the playlist. Like I'm actually going out of my way to type this name in right now because I
yeah.
want to hear this music.
That's definitely
What
those are
Jay-Z
big ones.
songs? Is it songs or albums? Are you just playing albums or are you just doing songs
I just go Jay-Z and I hit the
to play?
song. Yeah,
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be some good stuff, man.
yeah. And don't ask me for names of those songs because I never pay
Nah,
attention to
that's why I
them.
didn't. You see, I didn't ask. That's I just made sure. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm only gonna take it so far. Once you said the music, you already got asked these questions, so we got to give the people something new because we did food, we did music. What else? Are you a gamer? Are you on the game at all?
Kinda. Like I got a PS4 at the like maybe a couple months into the pandemic. I've never
Uh,
I begged for an Xbox 360 when I was in high school, and
you didn't get it.
I gave it up after 2 months. It's more of a connectivity thing for me. Like if the guys are
Uh,
on playing Madden or something like that, right? Like
yeah, it's definitely different when you got like a group of guys like that you cool with. Because I feel
mm,
like when I was a kid, it was always like if I'm going over to my boy's house, we're gonna play each other in the game. Like we're just literally
yeah,
about to play each other in the game. We're gonna go outside and play 1-on-1 literally all day, and then we're gonna come inside and play each other in the game all day. So, that just kind of once it became like the online thing, it just and I'm like, oh, I don't even have to go over their house. I can kick their butt whenever I want. Come on, bro, I'm getting one.
mm.
So yeah, it was definitely from that. I definitely don't blame you though, because I know some people that used to play the game or tried to get into it, and it's just like they have a system, but they don't really use it. Like they use it for Netflix. It's not really getting used for the gaming.
It's definitely sat there for a while, but I'll have it'll have its purpose. Like I definitely use it for I'll like the thing is too is like man I hate losing. I've only so that's the thing right like Fortnite
So it's
like
like
those
if I'm
type of
not
games.
getting it,
Do you know how long it took me to win a Fortnite battle royale whatever they call it, man?
oh, I still haven't won one. Yeah, I
Dude,
still haven't
I won
won.
one I won one last summer and I nearly had a heart attack when it happened. I was like,
You was about
what?
to you was about to choke the team. You was about to lose. You like, oh dang, we actually about to win. You
Yeah,
can't
but
believe it.
I will say it all depends on who I'm like surrounding myself with, I guess. Like I'm very much like just kind of go with the flow kind of thing. So I like I've lived with guys who are like, super active or like into this type of music. So I'll just kind of like sit there and I'll start to enjoy it and whatnot.
Mhm.
And then like I've had other roommates like in university who are more of like gamers. And so
Yeah,
like, a summer, we were all like every evening when we both get off work, like we would just kind of play a few games of Fortnite and try to win it. And dude, I had a lot of fun. That like couple of month period was the most fun I ever had with a console kind of thing, right? So
yeah. So a lot of the same experiences, but that's why I feel like I'm on so much because like being in sports and being in football, like you going against people that enjoy competing all the time too. And so
Mhm.
if they're gamers, like if there's any type of dude on this team that plays the game, like you're gonna challenge them. Like, oh, you gotta play me. You ain't played me yet. So it's just like how it goes, man. And you just end up playing each other online, and then you just add each other's friends, and you just keep adding friends, and then eventually, like now I'm in a pandemic, but I can still play a game with whoever I want at any time.
It's nice, man, to get that competitive edge still. And I will say, like, Madden actually like is one of those that is a bit of an exception because you learn playing Madden, man. Like you'll see the playbooks as
Yeah,
maybe you might not see that as much as actually being somebody who's in those meeting rooms, but for like the everyday person, I think like it gives you more of an idea of how actually like
how the
intense these
game works.
playbooks are. Yeah.
So then when you're watching the game, it's kind of like I'm watching these people. It's kind of like the example I gave when I'm like the X's and O's. It's not the same when the O's are human beings and they're running at you full speed, like running that same pattern. It's just different. So when you're watching it on the game, on the video game, and then you seen it in real life, you're like, okay, now what I'm seeing, like, okay, those same route concepts are being run like in real life. These are real people's playbooks we're using right now. Like,
I I always want to immerse myself into the sports and the athletes that I've like worked with. Like I want to understand as much as possible. Sometimes that comes at me being a little boneheaded more or less, but would let's put this out into the air. And I don't know any other drill, but maybe a YouTube video where me and you do like an Oklahoma drill, and I'll put on the pads for running back, and I'll try and juke you out.
bro, I'm not even putting on pads if we do that. I swear I will attack you. No,
I
but
feel like you'd be perfectly fine. So
I'm definitely tackling your legs. So prepare yourself. You're gonna have to hit me with a stiff arm. That's your move right there. You're not gonna
okay.
juke me. You got to stiff arm me. If the stiff arm works, you got me. You got a 50-50 chance. Because I'm coming right at your knees with no pads on.
Dude, I'm working all arms for the next like
Yeah,
year.
just straight bench press, just look up the Derrick Henry workout. That's all you need. Just one arm push-ups.
Man, funny enough, it's funny you say that because I literally seen I think who was it was working out with him
Danny down
today.
there working out with him. Yeah, he
Yeah,
training with him.
I saw that today. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it's funny. It's sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they're the same size, and he played DN. I was telling him that the other day. I was like, man, y'all standing side by side. This is crazy. This man is a running back. Like,
It's yeah, man, he's so fun to watch. Like
nah,
I'm not
definitely.
saying, but
It's
going back
definitely fun.
to me stiff arming because that's definitely not gonna work. But it's so funny too, man. Like being in the gym and like man, I've been so fortunate to work out with like pro athletes, right? Like guys
Yeah.
who move weight, and it's like sometimes like when I'm working out by myself, it's like, dude, I think my best like my PB for a bench is maybe like 2 reps at 185.
Mm.
And so I haven't worked on it in a while, and even like putting up like 3 reps at like 165, and then I pumped it back up to 185, and I failed again because like I said I haven't been working on it for a few years. It's like, man, like
Right.
you get so discouraged, but then it's like you take a step back and it's like, man, I'm the average Joe, and like I've just been looking at guys moving 3-4 plates and literally not even having an issue with
Thinking that's
that
the
for too
norm.
long.
That's not the norm, man. That's not the norm.
Hmm.
So you're just comparing yourself to something that can't be compared to. Like, this is years and years of training. This isn't just, oh, like I'm about to go lift, right, and I'm throwing 3 or 4 plates on. Like, no, this is so many years of training, man. People have been lifting since 10th grade, since they were 16 years old. So you working out
Yeah,
with grown men.
I'll tell you a funny story when I was at UO because I was lucky enough that like it's not like uh, super like busy like the way the workouts kind of go. Like there's some room for me to kind of get in, and like the guys would encourage me. They're like, yeah, come out work with us and like
Work out with us. Yeah.
and
That's
do
what's
so.
up. That's cool.
Yeah, so I was super grateful for that experience. But anyways, my buddy Abed, he's linebacker too, and he's just one of those like, hey man, like you can do it, like you can do it. So like 225, he was like, and dude, I wasn't even benching anything. He's like, yeah, you can do it. Like here, we'll give you a lift off. Like you got this, you got this. And he didn't put any clips in or anything like that. for 225. So boom, like immediately as the liftoff goes, it's like right on my chest. And then he wasn't in the position to pick me up, so he sent me for a nice little canoe ride.
He just walked it up your body?
No, like more or less like it collapsed on my chest, and obviously I can't get that off, so I kind of like leaned to my left trying to get it off, and then the two plates just like slid off. So as soon as two plates go, the bar goes on the other hand, right? A little canoe ride for myself. So
yeah, see, in that situation, you just got to be smart. Like, I'm definitely about to encourage you, but like, if you say you can't do 225, I'm gonna believe you. Like, unless I've seen you do 225, and then like you're just questioning yourself now. That's the only time I'm gonna say that. I've never seen you lift. You say you can't do 225. I'm just gonna take your word for it. Like, we're gonna start low and work our way up, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, no. Now I'm learning you can't do 225.
I'm an honest man, if anything. And when he said you can do it, I was like, no, I can't. And we man, I was in the same situation with that guy. My squat was pretty decent. I think I think it was around a 300 pound squat.
Yeah.
And I think it was like 3 reps. And he goes, and when I'm up, he goes, I was gonna like go rack the weight, and he's like, 1 more. And I was like, dude, I can't do 1 more. Like, I can't. And he's like, no, yes, you can. And then sure enough, I was like, all right, man, like if you say so. And then I squat, and I'm like, dude, I'm not coming back up. I can't. And it was a bench squat. So anyways,
bro, that's so funny, bro.
It wasn't enough weight for him to be able to like hold it kind of thing. And obviously the bench was in the way. Bro, we had that.
People you were working out with? Like on a consistent basis, they're just setting you up for failure.
Bro, I'm sending him this clip because we've laughed about this like millions of times because I don't know, but dude, we got the bench we got the bar wedged into the bench with like 300 pounds on it, and it was just, man, it was. You're there.
Bro, that's funny. Yeah. That's funny because I'm like, because at the end, because I'm like, I really would have had you like doing like the bar and some tins. You would have been like, man, what the heck? And I'm like, okay, my bad. I wasn't being disrespectful. I didn't know. Then I'm gonna just ask you what you comfortable with for your first set then. Like, I'm not about to just tell you to do what I'm doing because there's no guarantee you'll be able to do what I'm doing.
No, not at all. But I will say I now have new motivation to kind of push myself on that bench because I would, good content if I can beat you at least in one of those reps.
Yeah. Nah, for sure.
I ain't meaning no disrespect though, because I definitely know I can't. I'll be real.
Bro, you know, bro, I ain't gonna say that, man. Never. I ain't gonna say that. That's what I'm saying. Everything's just, if you want to get to that level, it's just gonna take you like, maybe 2 or 3 years. It takes a while.
What's the age difference? I was born in 97. When
I was born in 93.
Okay, so 4 years. So maybe when I'm 35, you're at the tail end of your like.
Hey, that's when you put the shoulder pads on. That's when we need to go 1-on-1. Because I don't even know at that point. I'm actually gonna need to put on pads too, which is like I'm not gonna be able to do it without pads on. Like I'm actually need to hit you with some force, like because at that point. I don't know, man. I've been feeling better than I've ever felt. So maybe when I'm 35, I'll still be feeling good.
Hey, yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do in an Edmonton Football Team uniform this year, man. Like I guess this year, but whenever things get back to it.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm excited, but if we even get to play, but. We'll leave that conversation for another podcast.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I know it's getting a little late, and I've taken up enough of your time. And yeah, I mean, this was your part of the show. So
man, good. Yeah. This was my part of the show. We were we right on schedule right now. 9:34. We where we need to be.
All right, man. Well, hey, I'm good to call it if you are.
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. I appreciate you having me on, brother. For sure.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. Take care, eh?
All right, man. You too.
Well, that's it for this week. I really hope you enjoyed our chat with Kevin Brown. Once again, please hit that subscribe button, like this video, send this to a friend, or leave us a review. I really appreciate it so much. And like always, in the meantime, stay best kind.